Mark, I know that you have something on your mind. What would you like to share with us
I
today?
do. Okay, so I saw on the news recently that the most recent couple married on the Bachelor TV show, The Golden Bachelor, they were getting a divorce after only 3 months of being married. And so now, in the history of the show, after 21 years of the show running and 35 proposals, only 6 couples are still married. That is a 17% success rate. That's
Oh my
not really
word.
good odds for somebody trying to find love. Now, I'm not a big fan of the show because I do think it's emotionally and psychologically damaging for most of the hopefuls, but it just goes to show that the formula of spending lots of quality time going on exciting dates while being disconnected from family and friends doesn't work very well. But how many people tend to date that way anyway? And I can admit that I did. My wife and I met, dated, married, all within 3 months. And what we thought was a whirlwind romance turned into 2 hurricanes colliding after we got married when reality sets in. Right? We'd enjoyed the excitement of dating, but we hadn't done the hard work of learning how to get through disagreement. So now I've identified 4 different approaches to finding a spouse, okay? Here's the first one. The first one is the gift approach. The gift approach folks believe that God or a higher power in the universe has brought them together and they're going to marry the person regardless of the red flags that come up. Okay, then you have the by chance approach, and that's the typical storyline you see in romance movies, the serendipitous meeting. And these folks, they're just waiting around until they bump into the one by happenstance meeting. And then you have the compatibility folks. They often use algorithms of websites to pick a partner. They're looking for somebody who has a lot in common with them. Unknowingly, they're just trying to marry themselves, somebody who's exactly the same as them. And then finally, you get what emotionally healthy people follow, which is the reward approach. Okay, and emotionally healthy people, they cultivate relationships and they do more uncovering than they do discovering when it comes to finding a spouse. Okay, so unlike a gift, which is something you receive, a reward is something that you earn. And so an emotionally healthy person, they do uncovering by looking at the character of the person, because they know that you find out more about a person through watching them in the challenging times, in disagreement, in problem solving and repair than you do on going on exciting dates. And so they do the hard work of uncovering by asking the difficult questions such as, does this person respect my no? Do they have self-control and discipline? Do they face their problems and admit weaknesses? Do they admit when they're wrong and ask for forgiveness? Do they forgive others? Are they trustworthy and loyal? Do they have integrity? And what have they learned from the previous relationships that they've been into? And can they take responsibility for their part in those breakdowns? I recently heard someone say the best time to get a divorce is before you get married.
There you
Okay.
go.
And emotionally healthy people know this, and they learn the most through others, through the challenges rather than through excitement. Okay. So, Jeremiah 17 says, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Now, lots of us know this, but the very next verse goes on to say, I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. So sure, go on dates, but make sure you honestly ask yourself the hard questions before you make a commitment to marriage. Do the hard work so that you can get the reward of your efforts.